Good day and
Welcome to
welcome to
Flip
Flip
TV
TV
News. My
News.
name
My
is
name is Tolulope. Ebonyi State Governor says Tinubu's presidency is divinely ordained. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has stated that President Bola Tinubu's emergence as Nigeria's leader is the will of the God. Speaking during a political gathering, Governor Nwifuru emphasized that Tinubu's rise to the presidency was not by human effort alone, but divinely orchestrated. He urged Nigerians to support the president, noting that national development requires patience, unity, and cooperation from all citizens. Nwifuru also called on political leaders and citizens to look beyond party lines and rally behind the current administration for the good of the country. According to him, sustainable progress can only be achieved when people trust in leadership and commit to peace and stability. His comments have sparked mixed reactions, particularly among those who remain critical of the current economic and political climate in Nigeria. President Tinubu continues to face challenges in areas such as economic reform, security, and governance, but supporters argue that his leadership requires time to yield meaningful results. Thank you for listening to Flip TV News. Do enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Tolulokwe. Igbo youths threaten election boycotts to demand Kanu's release. The All Igbo Youth Forum, a pressure group, has warned that Igbo youths will boycott the 2027 general elections unless the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Nnamdi Kanu, is released. The national president of the forum, Chief Chinedu Obilo, issued the threat at a news briefing held at the secretariat of the Abia Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Umaya on Tuesday. Obilo said that the group shelved its planned protest over Kanu's continued incarceration after its discussion with the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Benjamin Kalu. He said that Kalu assured the group that discussions with President Bola Tinubu on the IPOB leader's release were ongoing. He said, "We believe the president will listen to the cry of Indigbo and release Kanu." According to Obilo, the forum's position remains unchanged and we cannot leave Nnamdi Kanu and be talking about 2027. He said that the group would give the deputy speaker 2 more months to engage the president on Kanu's release. He said it was the group's resolve that he must take the demand for Kanu's release to the president urgently. If they fail, we will hold 10 million man march to Abuja and dare them to jail all of us, he said. He wondered why other agitators and terror suspects were released, but Kanu remained in custody. If they feel they will use Nnamdi Kanu to do politics, we will not agree. We will mobilize 10 million Igbo youths to march and tell the government we won't vote if Kanu is not released, Obilo said. The group kicked against the exclusion of the Southeast in recent political appointments, describing it as unacceptable. It further spoke on the ongoing coalition in the African Democratic Congress, saying that any coalition that won't cede the presidential ticket to the South will not fly. It said that the South supported the North for 8 years under late President Muhammadu Buhari, adding that the time is now ripe for equity. Thank you for listening to Flip TV News. Nigerian Senate approves Tinubu's $2.15 billion external borrowing plan, clears multiple loan and bond requests. The Nigerian Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's request to obtain $2.15 billion in external loans, along with several other credit facilities and bond arrangements, as part of the administration's broader financial strategy to boost economic development and address infrastructure challenges across the country. The decision was made during plenary after the presentation and adoption of a report by the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, chaired by Senator Haruna Manu. The committee reviewed the president's loan request and recommended approval, noting the strategic importance of the funds for national growth. According to the committee's findings, the loans will be sourced from multilateral and bilateral creditors under the 2022 to 2024 borrowing plan. The approved amount will support critical sectors such as power, transport, agriculture, health, and education. It will also be used to fund climate resilience initiatives and improve access to social services in underserved regions. The Senate also approved other financing instruments, including promissory notes and sovereign bonds, which are expected to aid state governments in settling inherited liabilities and funding capital projects. The legislative body assured that all loans would be subject to stringent monitoring to ensure transparency and accountability in implementation. Supporters of the borrowing plan argue that it is essential for bridging Nigeria's infrastructural gaps, supporting economic reforms, and enhancing public service delivery. They emphasized that with proper management, the loan could yield long-term economic benefits and generate employment opportunities. However, some lawmakers and economic analysts have raised concerns about the country's rising debt burden. Critics fear that continued borrowing without a strong repayment framework could plunge Nigeria deeper into debt distress, especially with the nation already spending a significant portion of its revenue on debt servicing. In defense of the borrowing plan, Senate President Godswill Akpabio stated that while the concerns are valid, the borrowing is necessary given the current economic realities. He stressed the importance of trust in the federal government's capacity to manage the funds efficiently and deliver tangible outcomes. This development comes amid ongoing efforts by the Tinubu-led administration to revive the economy through fiscal reforms, foreign investment incentives, and infrastructure expansion. With the Senate's approval, the federal government is now expected to proceed with negotiations and disbursement arrangements with relevant lenders. As Nigeria continues to navigate economic recovery and growth, all eyes will be on the implementation of the projects tied to these loans and whether they can deliver the promised impact on citizens' lives. Thank you for listening to